I have been a stay-at-home mom for the first almost 5 years because initially I was working, I was full-time working, and I didn't stay at home this much. And it has been a good journey and also a very challenging journey, especially raising kids who are almost the same age. And I have to say that I have learned a lot in terms of actually budgeting and also in terms of saving. And that's why in today's video, I want to actually talk to my fellow stay-at-home moms, and I want to be giving you my 5 tips when it comes to actually money management or maybe money budgeting. Because let me tell you, the way we used to, or maybe the way I used to spend while I was still working, it's not the same way I'm spending when I have the kids and I'm staying with them with them all the time at home. I don't know if you understand, but let's have this conversation, especially for those parents who are staying at home taking the kids. And before that, I have to say that you guys, you are doing amazing job staying at home with the kids. It is one of the sacrifice that any parent can do, and it is so rewarding. At the same time, it is challenging, and I have just to tell you guys, thank you so much if you are taking care of your kid, because I know the frustration. I know it's not an easy journey. It's not something I can just tell you, oh, it's gonna be easy. It's not, especially for the new moms or new parents. So let's dive in and see what are the 5 items, or maybe 5 aspects, or maybe 5 lessons when it comes to money budgeting that I have learned as a stay-at-home mom. So welcome. I'm taking some tea. This is black tea, pure black tea, but I have added in some cinnamon, and it's smelling quite good. It's just amazing. I just decided to drink it because why not? Okay, now the very first thing I have to share with you guys, if you're a stay-at-home mom or a parent, you will understand that you're gonna be spending a lot of money because of the kids, buying stuff for them, buying pampers or maybe diapers, buying food for them, buying clothes for them, taking them outside, because kids are demanding. Let me not kid you, they are so demanding in terms of items and stuff like that. And even your time, it can be very frustrating. And if you don't have a support system, then it's gonna be hard for you. But it is good thing that most of us, or maybe some of us, we are lucky we have someone who can actually support us when we need. Now, the very first lesson that I have learned when it comes to actually raising kids as a stay-at-home mom, or taking care of the kids as a stay-at-home mom in terms of money, it is in terms of actually tracking the expenditures. Okay, one thing that I normally do is just take a little book, and just write down what bills are needed to be paid. Remember, I'm not the one paying, because I have a husband who is an amazing Turkish man who doesn't do the 50-50 thing, like, oh, you have to pay this, you have to pay this. No, he doesn't. He provide 100% fully, provide for the home, provide for the kid, provide for me. Yeah, and of course he normally takes part in taking care of the kids. It's not like he's just only the working machine and I'm just there sitting. No, I'm not just sitting. This reminds me, one day I was talking to my friend and she was like, oh, her neighbor was asking her what are you bringing to the table, because your work is only like just sitting at home. And she was really frustrated and she was really angry at that neighbor, because why did she say like that? And she was really mad at her. And I told her, don't mind her, she's just a hater, because she doesn't know what comes in when it comes to actually taking care of the kids and the household at the same time, even if you are not working outside. Okay, so like I said, just I do my calculation in terms of actually tracking the expenditures, okay, or maybe the expenses that I'm needed to be or are needed to actually be paid. For instance, when I have money, or maybe when, of course, my husband, when he gives me money, I know that this amount of money I have to spend on my clothing, I have to spend on the kids' clothing, on his clothing, and I'll just write down everything I need when it comes to actually maybe when it comes to some things like maybe fuel for car, or we don't pay rent because we live in our own place, and when it comes to actually electricity and other maybe water and stuff like that, he's the one who is actually paying. So for him it is so easy, or maybe when I just sit down I can check the receipts and track and just know that this is the amount of money that we have spent the whole of these months, or we're going to be spending the whole of these months. Remember, we live in Turkey and we normally have winter, we normally have summer. Right now we are in summer, and the AC is actually, like, the air conditioner is actually on throughout because it is super hot at home. And sometimes when it is, not sometimes, when it is winter time, we have the natural gas that always runs throughout the rooms so that we keep warm. Because for me, cold is not my thing. I don't know about you, but cold is not my thing. I rather stay maybe somewhere whereby it is summer, not too much hot, but when it comes to cold, it really affects me, and I'm not just used to it. Okay, so tracking my expenses in terms of actually how much I'm gonna be, or how much I have actually spend in terms of the bills and everything, helps me in a way that I just know that the next month, like, I'll do approximately, I'll be spending this amount of money, and I just know in my head that we need this amount of money we're gonna be spending, so that if I have other things that I need to do, I can know how to fix this money to go to something else. Okay, I don't know about you, but you can tell me, is this tip useful? Okay, coming to my second point, or my second tip, is actually, once I have tracked my expenses, I know that this amount has gone like this. I'll be spending this amount on grocery, on entertainment, on my hobbies, on stuff like that, and any miscellaneous things, or money from people from my own country. Because let me tell you, when people know that you are living abroad, they think that abroad there's trees that actually are actually growing money, and they're gonna be, oh, send me this amount, send me this amount, do this and this, I have this problem. I'm not saying that I'm not willing to help anyone or someone who comes to me, but sometimes, especially the family members, they don't think that you also have your own things that you need to do. They just think that, oh, this money is ours. What can you do? Especially when someone, maybe something like sickness, or maybe something like education, it is involved. If you have, you just have to help. And so once, my second point is actually, once I know that this amount of money we're gonna be spending on certain things, like on maybe on the fuel, on the kid stuff, on the entertainment and stuff like that. Now it is time for me to do a realistic budget. Okay, I don't set my budget on someone else's lifestyle. I live a very simple, happy life, healthy life. Let me just tell you, because one of the things that I prioritize in my family is actually healthy living, in terms of eating healthy food, organic food from farm, not food that has been stored in the supermarket and stuff like that. I love this kind of lifestyle, very simple, very healthy, very happy lifestyle. And I set my budget realistically. This is the amount that is coming in, this is the amount that we need to get out of, like, we need to spend. This is the amount that we are remaining with. This is the amount that I'm going to be saving as a stay-at-home mom, or as a woman. This is the amount that I'm going to be actually spending on my kids, on stuff like that. So I try as much as possible to make sure that I'm actually within my budget, and also I'm actually within my like our family earnings. It's not like I'm setting because, oh, she earns this amount of money, or so I'm thinking, oh, if I had this amount of money I could do this and this. No, that is not me. I work with what God has given me, and that is something that has actually helped me in terms of actually living healthy, and also being happy with what you have, or what I have. Just being content and being realistically, like being realistic. Right now I'm taking some black tea. This is, we call it in Kiswahili or Swahili, chai ya strungi. When you go to, maybe you go to Africa, or maybe you go to Kenya, and people see you drinking this kind of tea, they might start saying, oh, she lives desperate life, oh, she doesn't have money to buy milk. But what they do not know is that this is drinking black tea is not something bad. In fact, it is one way of actually living healthy, because too much of milk is not good for your health, especially if you are trying to have goals in terms of fitness. Okay, I'm not saying that milk is bad. I love my tea with milk, Kenyan tea, especially if you put in some masala. It's awesome. But for me, this is a lifestyle that I have found here. Turkish people normally drink a lot of black tea. It is something that it is a culture thing, and I have adopted to it, and I'm fine with it. In fact, on a normal day, you won't see me drinking milk tea. Rather, you will find me either with Turkish coffee or with black tea, which is something good is working for me. I don't know about you. If tea with milk works for you best, set your budget accordingly. If you think that you can do away with milk, and this has helped me actually in terms of actually even buying a lot of meat. Even though right now, because I have kids who need milk, I do buy milk almost every day. And sometimes, luckily, we live in the city whereby milk is being provided for kids under the age of 5. So most of the time, not most of the times, but during most months, I receive a lot of milk for the kids because they are still under the age of 5, and that has also boosted me in terms of actually spending on items like milk and stuff like that. Okay, so that is the second point I want to share with you. Now, coming at my third point is actually to prioritize and also sticking as much as possible on my budget. Like I said, I don't go, of course, sometimes if necessary, I do go away or maybe out of my budget, especially when I'm just going to the market or maybe to the supermarket or the mall and I don't have any idea of what I'm going to buy exactly. I'll find myself buying a lot of things. That's why if I want to go to the market, I have to make sure that I have a small list for the things either on my mobile phone or just on a little paper, just to see. Nowadays I prefer actually on my mobile phone, just to see the things that I need to buy, because if I go just like that, sometimes my head, when it actually sees something that I need to buy, I'll buy, and that is going outside my budget. I'm not saying that I'm not spending. I do love spend on things that are needed to be spent money on. Okay, so, and something like I'm emphasizing, I try as much as possible to stick on my budget and actually prioritize what items are needed. Okay, I just don't go and just buy things that I don't need. Okay, for instance, for me right now, I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm not necessarily going to spend money on going to the gym, driving to go to the gym. No, because I'm not into a hurry, or I don't know if you understand me. Like, I'm not overweight. I'm just there. So instead of me going to the gym, doing stuff like that, buying a lot of stuff like buying equipment for the gym, why not just do my exercise here at home and actually learn from the YouTubers, especially from my sister Maria. Okay, Brand Maria, she's an amazing YouTuber. She's one of us, and she normally gives tips on actually in terms of weight loss, in terms of fitnesses, in terms of exercise, and she does an amazing job. Why not just sit down, do some of this part of these things that she's doing and lose some weight instead of me buying a lot of equipments. Okay, so I try as much as possible to minimize in terms of actually not buying unnecessary things. Okay, things that I don't need, things that I would just use once in a while, machines that I don't need, things that I don't really need, I try to avoid to buy them. Okay, so that is another point. Now, coming at my fourth point is to build actually an emergency fund. What I mean is that, we live in the world whereby we have a lot of surprises. Things are happening right and left that are not good, and we are not hoping for the bad things. I'm not saying that I'm just prepared for anything bad. Of course, anything bad that will happen to my family will I do not want it. I refuse it in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. The Nigerians normally have this thing, like they say, like tufiakwa. Okay, I don't know if it is tufiakwa or something like that. They are rejecting something like that. Okay, so I'm not saying that I'm just there waiting for a bad thing to actually happen. No. I don't even have the negative attitudes or negative thoughts. Of course, they do come, I do think, but I try as much as possible to eliminate them. And what I mean is that I try, or maybe we try as much as possible to make sure that we are setting some little amount for each and every month for just emergency, in case the child is sick, in case something happens that needs an urgent money, or needs something to be done quickly. And I can do this, and it's not that when I put that money, I'm going to take it tomorrow or next day. I prefer almost 6 months to 12 months just to keep that money, because you never know what will happen tomorrow. So that is something that I have adopted, or some tips that I wanted to share with you that has actually helped me so much. And I thank God. I thank God, because my kids, for the past years, or maybe for almost the years that they have been with me, or they have lived with me here, like I've been taking care of them as a stay-at-home mom. I really thank God, because they have not fallen sick to an extent of going to the hospital, which is something good, and I just give glory to God. Or even myself, maybe once in a while I go to the hospital, maybe for checkup or for delivery, and also for my teeth. My tooth has been something that has been disturbing me. I don't know if it's to do with some food here in Turkey or something. The other day I was going to the hospital to actually clean my teeth. They have cavities, and one of them is actually itching. This teeth that is actually up, they call it wisdom tooth or some stuff like that. It needs to be removed. So tomorrow I'll be going so that they can remove it. It is so painful when I eat something. So I prefer, like, there's money for that, there's insurance of course, but on some stuff like this, medicine here and there, of course we spend money on that. Okay, now my last but not least is actually to make sure that I'm not owing someone. I try as much as possible to make sure that I'm not going into debt, or maybe just borrowing money from someone, even if I have an emergency. I rather not do that, because when you have a lot of debt, it means that the money that you are going to be getting, even if you are getting from somewhere, it means that you have to spend it repaying the amount, which is something lifestyle that I try as much as possible to avoid in terms of actually debt. If I have a debt, I have to repay it immediately. If someone owes me, or maybe I owe someone, I rather just pay and actually manage with what I have, instead of waiting and waiting and waiting, because it's not good for me. It's not working for me. Like it has never worked for me well. So guys, those are my tips that I wanted to share with you. My 5 tips, being a stay-at-home mom, that I have learned, that has actually helped me in terms of actually just staying at home, spending my money, and of course going outside with my kids. It's not like I'm just at home and doing nothing. We do a lot of things behind the cameras that we are not going to be sharing each and every time, each and every step. Of course we need our privacy, but these tips has helped me in terms of actually saving some money, the little money that God has blessed us with. And I don't know about you, I want to hear from you. What are your money tips, or maybe your budgeting tips, so that we can live free in terms of freedom wise, in terms, remember, if you have money and you don't you don't owe anyone, you have the freedom to do everything. Money, sometimes they say money is not good, money is this and this. For me, I love money. I love making money, of course, and also I love earning my own money, and I love spending it wisely. And these tips has also helped me in terms of actually knowing where to spend, how to spend, and how to earn that money. Until next time guys, I'll see you in my next videos. I have to finish my tea. If you're liking my content, you want to support my channel, do me one favor guys, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next. Bye.